A lot of this video has been about how you can work on yourself, and you're like, I came to this video to figure out how to ask a girl out. We're trying to help you do that.
What's up, breathing people? Today we are talking about how to ask a girl on a date. When I was doing some research on what to talk about next concerning dating, I saw a lot of questions about how to ask a girl on a date, how to ask my crush on a date, and I am excited to talk about this because guys can be creepy sometimes when they ask a girl on a date. So we are gonna give you some pointers so that you are not one of those creepy people. And number one is, are you worth dating? And so I'm gonna pass it over to you because you had brought up this as a good question to ask yourself.
Yeah, this is a great place to start. And I know this video is about how to ask a girl on a date, but you need to know if you bring anything to the table. Are you a person that is worth dating? Should that girl that you ask say yes? And you can kind of answer that question if you do a little bit of reflection, some introspection, and you look at yourself and you're like, I'm not doing anything in my life worthy of someone going out with me. And there's a lot of guys that sit there and they're not really doing anything to support themselves in any area of their life. They're not getting better emotionally. They're not getting better mentally. They're not getting better physically. They're not getting better financially. And they're like, I wish that girl would go out with me. Why? Why would she do that? That would be a stupid move on her part. So we really want to look at ourselves and say, am I developing in all areas of my life? Not perfect. No one's going to get there, but you can make steps in the right direction. With that, you need to know your own personal self-worth. And honestly, that's going to influence all of those other areas that I just talked about. You need to know how valuable you are as a person. You need to look in the mirror, and instead of saying all of the things that are wrong with who you see, you need to be able to celebrate yourself. You need to be able to say, I am a person of value. I am a person of great worth. If you're a Christian, you're a child of God. That's the ultimate worth. You are created and designed by the great designer, by the divine. That's so incredible, and it should shape how you look at all those other areas of your life. And why wouldn't you, if you are a person of worth, have more worth in all of these other areas? That just makes sense. That should be an outflow of that self-worth that you feel.
Yeah. So the second question you'd want to ask after that one is, why do I want to date this girl? Or why do I want to date in general?
Yeah.
And the reason why this question is so important is because it gives you clarity as you go to ask that girl out on a date.
Right.
And girls are really good at judging what your intentions are. And so if you go in there and you just want to have sex, or you are trying to date her for a selfish reason, maybe you want to look cool, whatever your reason is, find that out. And if it's not a good one, she might say yes the first time you ask her out, but she's not gonna stay with you. She's gonna see that. She's gonna read that. And if you wanna find somebody who you wanna have a lasting relationship with, you need to think, why do I really wanna ask this girl out on a date? And is it a good reason? And if it's not, maybe you need to do some self-work before you ask her out. That way you can have a meaningful, lasting relationship with her.
That's such an important question to ask. So you do all the self-worth, you do making sure that you bring something to the table, and then you know why you're there when you get to that place where you're about to ask her out. Why am I about to do this? What do I ultimately want out of this relationship? And don't go in there with dual intentions where you're putting off some other reason to the girl, but your intentions are actually this. She's going to read that and she's going to find out eventually. So if you actually care about this person and you actually want to be with her for an extended period of time, you can't have duality in your mind going into that dating relationship. You need to know exactly what you're doing, why you're doing it, so that she is confident in that reason. And you're going to bring confidence into that ask when you're so solid in your mindset, when you're so solid in what you want. That's where that Riz game that everybody wants right now actually comes from. I'm so confident with what I want from this relationship that it's going to be felt by that other person when I make this ask.
I love that. It's so true. When you go into that ask, knowing that you bring worth to that person and you know why you desire to date that person, that is attractive. So the third thing that you want to think about is you want to prepare for the difficulties. And you had brought this up before. It's true that dating is hard right now, nowadays, especially if you're already out of college or out of high school, out of where you're around a bunch of people that are your age, that are into the same things that you're into. And so you want to just be aware of what is hard for you in your situation and prepare for that. One of the ways that you could do that is if you're nervous talking to girls, if you're nervous just being around girls and thinking about asking that question makes you nervous, put yourself in situations where you're around women and you can have conversations.
Right, in these non-committal relationships where you're just around women as acquaintances. That could be a workplace. Just being around women. I've worked in places where it's predominantly women, and I've just had to navigate that. I wasn't looking for any romantic relationships with any of them, but it definitely helped me know how to talk to them. I was very comfortable around them after just being in their presence all the time.
Yeah.
So put yourself in situations, like she's saying, prepare for the difficulties of this dating game that exists right now. It's tough. It's hard to find someone, especially after you're out of college or high school or all those things that you said. Now, if you are in those situations, same thing applies. Still going to be hard for you. The pool is so kind of filled right now with all of these options. You have Instagram, you have online dating, you have all of these pools that people are using to find dates that make it difficult for the person that's right across from you. That's why you need to prepare yourself with that confidence that you can bring in, because that person's going to look away from their Tinder match and they're going to look at you and say, here's a person with confidence right in front of me.
Yeah.
You want to be that person when she looks. So prepare for the difficulties, know what they are. A lot of times the difficulties that people are feeling in the dating game is just because they haven't researched what all those difficulties are. Knowledge is power, and knowledge gives you the ability to navigate around and through those difficult situations. So I know a lot of this video has been about how you can work on yourself, and you're like, I came to this video to figure out how to ask a girl out. We're trying to help you do that. So much of what you're going to need to have a successful ask is the work that you do to yourself. That confidence that comes from the work on yourself. That knowledge of what you're bringing to that potential relationship is going to carry into that ask. A lot of this work will help you just have an aura about you that is solid. And that's going to be felt by whoever you're asking. It's just something that translates intangibly and tangibly in a dating relationship. So make sure you do this work. Don't say, I don't feel like it. I'm just going to try to go out on my own and just ask a bunch of girls out. You might have some success with that. Will you have success with the ones that really matter most to you and maybe are going to be the potential relationships that you actually desire once you get over the lust stage when you just want to be sexual with somebody? Probably not. That's why we're really pushing you to do this self-work, to know your self-worth, and to really make sure you're prepared before you date somebody. I think that's really going to help you be successful, find the right girls, and date in a way that is just beautiful. I think that's really what we want. We don't want just kind of these fling dating relationships for you. We want a beautiful relationship where you're so proud of yourself for obtaining this girl and she's so proud to have your arm around her.
Yeah.
Like, that's the relationship you really want and every guy actually desires. But sometimes we just don't want to put in the work to make it happen.
And girls are watching too. If they see you caring for yourself and working on yourself, they're watching. When it comes, if you're in close proximity with that girl and it comes to the point where you ask, she's probably been seeing you on the corner of her eye. And if she knows that you are a person working to better yourself, your likelihood of her saying yes is going to increase quite a bit.
And one thing that's really cool too is when you work on yourself before you get into a relationship with somebody, and now you're in it, now you're getting to know each other, and they're able to really see all of that work. Because a lot of it before you're in that dating relationship is just going to be felt. They might see some of the results when you have your act together in different areas of your life, but once you're in that relationship, she's really going to see the work that you're putting in for yourself. And what that is going to do, it's going to make her want to do it for herself.
Yeah.
And I think we really would want that in a relationship where both parties are working on themselves. Like, how much better of a relationship would it be if the person you're in a dating relationship with is getting better than the person you asked out?
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's what you really want from a dating relationship. So it's this thing that it's this pattern building that you developing yourself is going to translate and encourage others to do the same.
And it shows her that you care about her too.
Yeah.
You care enough about yourself to get better for her. That says a lot.
So I hope these tips, strategies that we offered today really help you go out there, know who you are, figure out who you are as a person, as a human, your self-worth, so that you can start to work on these other areas of your life and develop and make those worthy of offering to somebody that you want to date. And then you're going to go into it with confidence. You're going to go into it and you're going to crush that ask. So I hope you enjoyed this video. We will see you on the next one. We love you all. Go out there and crush it.
Hey, if you want to hear us talk about this same topic in a long form conversation, you can check out our podcast. We have a link in the description below.